Hey everyone, welcome to another video review. This is the Transformers Age of the Primes Deluxe Class Skydive. You can see him there in front of this box. We'll go ahead and put him offside real quick and take a look inside the box. Yes, this is the Age of the Primes box. You got Transformers Age of the Primes right there in gold. Bam, you got the 17 steps right there. You got Skydive in both his robot and jet mode right there. You got Hasbro and his name. You got his name again, Takara Tomy up here. And of course on this side you have Helix, a picture of Superion right there. On this side you have, of course, the Prime statues that we see a line wide, the Deluxe Class. Down here you have what's included in some manufacturing details, and of course on the back you have copyrights and warnings, of course a couple product shots of the couple modes he has. So there's that. And of course you have the instructions, which are, pretty straightforward, especially if, say, you already own Air Raid, because heads up, he's a remold of Air Raid. So he's pretty much, he's got pretty much the same exact transformation and everything. Getting in close, that you can see his head, he's got this big old black dome thing over his head, which is a very orange face and some blue eyes right there. You got, of course, some red and black on the chest. You got the black and gray on the arms and legs. Pretty straightforward. You got some detailing down here, the shins, everything, a little bits of detailing here and there. And of course on the back here you have all the plane and stuff, which I'll talk a little bit more about in the plane mode. But yeah, you got some plane backpack, because that's how they do things with the Aerialbots, and there you go. That sure is an Aerialbot. Not a bad looking robot overall, but it's something that's it's kind of in that, oh yeah, I've been here before, because Air Raid. But as for posability, very much as much like our Air Raid, there's a little weird bit of extra orange or something right there. There we go. That's kind of off. You got, of course, ball jointed heads. You got left and right. You got up and down a little bit. You got a little bit of waggle. There's also the platform it's on, so you can kind of really do that if you want. Shoulders can do a full rotation. You mind the backpack, and you go outward that far as well. You have a bicep sole, elbow bend, but a little over 90 degrees. Nothing right at the wrist other than collapsing inward for the other modes. You do have a waist joint, which is pretty much unhindered, thankfully. Hips, you got forward that far, and you got back that far, and you got outward that far, a little bit more than full splits. You do have a thigh swivel right there. You do have a knee joint, which is just shy of 90 degrees. And down here at the foot, you do have a lot of ankle articulation, and because of transformation, you can move the foot forward a little bit as well. Yeah. Also, by the way, this is separate inside the bag. This will be separate inside the bag. You have to plug this on yourself, but it's just a 5mm port, so doesn't take much, plug it in. So there's that. Yeah, again, pretty much, some pretty standard, pretty bog standard articulation. Nothing really particularly missing for Deluxe, and there you go. Of course, he's got his guns, which you can see right here. They have two of them. They're basically the same. We got all this stuff, kind of some bits of detailing, but kind of lost in the sea of black. Of course, those both peg into his hands, more or less just fine. So, you shoot things, and I believe, of course, they are blast effect compatible, so you got that as well. So there's that. Yeah. Again, he's pretty straightforward. There's really nothing, nothing particularly groundbreaking here. It is, if you have Air Raid, you know exactly what to expect with this guy, because he's the same mold, just with new detailing. But he does look good. It says Air Raid did look good as well, so in robot mode. So some comparisons real quick. Over here, again, here's a Studio Series 86 Optimus, just the line wide standard, just for a comparison there. See an idea there. Again, I don't have the Combiner Wars version, but I do have Combiner Wars Fellbat, which is what was used the old Skydive mold. So there's that. Here he is with the rest of the team. So so far, Grenadier, Silverbolt, Slingshot, and Air Raid. And yeah, you can see in particular. Again, you can see these two are very similar, very similar. You can see a lot of the similarities there, just in general. They have very similar sculpting. Yep, there's the team so far. And by the way, spoiler, already have Fireflight. So yeah, this is not, you're not long for this world on that one. So there you go. That's Skydive. Again, pretty good robot mode, just like Air Raid. So really not really too much to complain about, really. So well, of course, unless you hate the backpack, but that's kind of just Aerialbots. So hey, so transformation into vehicle mode, very simple. Again, pull the guns out of his hands. The first of all we want to go ahead and do is to take the fists and rotate those in, like so. You want to take the head here and rotate it 180 degrees, like that. You want to take this chest piece right here and fold this out, like so. And then right here, you want to go ahead and take the... Well, you want to take the legs here. You want to take this and tab them together, like that. Then get those out of the way. Bring these up like this, and then bring them back right here, and those tab into the backs of the shins. Bring those forward like this. They'll tab into the front of the thighs like that. And then take this bit right here, and you want to go ahead and rotate. You want to rotate. Yeah, we're gonna kind of have to pull this out a little bit. Rotate this and slide it back in, so it's now the other way around. And take this and bring it forward and make sure it kind of, again, you want to kind of at this angle so this does not catch right here. You bring it down right here, and this will tab in right there like this, like that. You can go ahead and bring the tail fins down like this. Go ahead and bring the arms in. They'll peg into the side. You can see that. There's little pegs right there on the sides. Peg the arms in like that, and like that. Bring the wings down. They'll go ahead and they'll go over the tabs on the arms like this. And then it takes this whole thing. You want to untab, bring this up like this and bring it forward. And this will go over top of the head and everything, and just tab into the shoulders like that. And then you could go ahead and take the guns here, and they'll peg into the bottom of the wings, like so, and like so. And there you go. There's a Skydive in the vehicle mode. Yep, sure is it sure is Skydive, and yeah, again, looks a lot. There's kind of a lot of similarities to us air raid in this mode, but he's got his own little thing. Again, mostly gray jet. You got a black cockpit, a black nose cone. You got the pretty cool little blue tail fin with the lightning bolts, and of course you got the lightning bolt, yellow lightning bolts on the wings with the Autobot symbol and everything on black wings. And yeah, of course you got the same problem with air raid does, which is basically you got this gigantic mast right here in the back of the plane, just this huge block of stuff. And you got the weird, really set back landing gear and everything. And of course the landing gear molded into the feet and all that. So yeah, you got that weirdness going on. Of course the head's right there as well. And you got, there's no rolling bits on the wheel, so just slides across. But it's not terrible looking, but yeah, it's still like in that thing of like, man, this is kind of a weaker jet mode than I like. Weirdly enough, also weirdly enough, these bits right here, there's a slightly different shade of gray right here on these little square bits, which is interesting. But yeah, no, of course you got the thrusters picked out right there, or not picked out, but in detailed right there. So yeah, again, it's not horrible, but yeah, it could have been better. Particularly again, this mass right here. I wish there was a way this compressed a little bit better, but it's a deluxe, so what can you do? Yeah, it's not like bad or anything. It's just again, it's just like that problem with the air raid thing of like this back end kind of sucks. But yeah, as for comparison stuff, really not much else. Here's the Combiner Wars Fellbat. This again idea there of styling differences. And of course, here's the rest of the Aerialbot team so far. And again, you can see just Skydive and Air Raid. Very similar designs. Again, you can see they definitely did quite a bit of remolding on the jets. You can see that. They actually did quite a bit of remolding to make the jets different from each other. Although weirdly enough, the tail fins are identical, of all things. But yeah, you can see they both have the same thing of just massive block in the back with the incorrectly placed front landing gear. But yeah, oddly enough, Air Raid's Skydive's head blends in a little better just because of the way it's shaped. It kind of almost looks like an intentional thing, but still, you can see that they're pretty much the same mold. So there's that. Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. Problem with Air Raid, which is just kind of like the front half is not too bad, but then you get to the back half, it's like, bleh, oh god. And of course, the landing gear in the wrong place. He doesn't have the problem Air Raid does, which is his guns are not loose. These are actually pretty solid in there, so that's really good. Yeah, of course, you got one more mode, which is, of course, the combined mode, which is, pretty straightforward. You want to go ahead and take these tail fins and move them like this. You want to take this guy spun around. Again, probably have to unpeg it a bit and rotate it and then slide it back in because of this lip and everything. Of course, then what you want to do is go ahead and take this bit, you know, untab the front of the jet, bring it down like this, tab it into the back like that. Go ahead and then bring this bit down right here, the nose cone, bring it down this hinge and bring it down like this so it's sitting like that. Go ahead and bring the wings in, they'll tab into the side of the, you know, that bit right there, and then of course bring this down right here and then take the head platform and fold it down like that. And there you go, that's the block right there. Yeah, just like, you know, just like air raid, which, hey, I can show it this time. It's, you know, it plugs in, you know, pegs, you know, the two pegs, the two peg holes, these tabs, these slots. This goes on. Yep, this goes on, no problem. And hey, now you get a little door thing, and there you go. There's leg mode as a whole. Yeah, so there is that. Yeah, so again, Skydive is, you know, pretty much the same as Air Raid, you know, in the sense that, like, yeah, it's got the same almost the exact same problems of the transformation leads to a very blocky, you know, a jet that's very blocky in the back. The landing gear is incorrectly placed. You can see the head in the alt mode, which, you know, bother. It's not as bad just because the shape of the head makes it, you know, kind of blend in a little bit better. But yeah, he's got pretty much a lot of the same problems. Not all the same problems. Again, the thing about the loose guns is not really here, which is nice. That was fixed. But yeah, he's got pretty much most of the same problems. Just, yeah, pretty much the alt mode just feels really compromised. The most compromised of everything. And it sits real high and everything. It's just kind of like one of those things. It's like, it's probably, yeah, him and Air Raid are definitely the two, I would say, in the alt mode are definitely weakest. They're pretty solid in the robot mode. I'll say the robot modes look great. The transformation is actually pretty fun and has some clever bits to it, but there's also some pretty straightforward. Oh, that's, you know, I think the legs are kind of clever, but yeah, that's about it. Everything else is like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, it's just that the arms just kind of peg in, and that's, and so on and so forth. You know, it's very simple, but. And there's more other stuff I'll talk about, but that's kind of more in the for Superion itself. So I'll get into that a little bit. But yeah, it's still solid. But you know, if you're looking for Aerialbots, this is still a good bait deal. And I think compared to like Combiner War stuff, it's a little bit better in the sense that like, oh hey, it's definitely not going to be a floppy mess when it's all said and done. So yeah, he's still pretty solid. But yeah, definitely, I feel like still just like Air Raid kind of definitely misses the mark on some things for sure. So yeah, that's it for this review. I hope you found it informative and entertaining. Hope you like, comment, subscribe. Check out my social media. It's down in the description and at the end of the video. Check out my Coffee Man Patreon. I shall see you next time with another video review.